Welcome to Unit 6. So in this video, we will talk about transaction management, data models, and entity relationship diagrams. And we will be covering some essential questions like, how do we define a database transaction? How do we define a data model? How do the elements of a data model work? When and why did the different data models appear? And last, what are the business rules? Data model. So when we say data model, it is a simple picture of a complex real-world data. It helps you to understand and manage data structures, the relationships, and roles in a database to solve specific problems. For example, school database. So a data model for school could represent a teacher, a students, and classes. So next we have transaction management. Transaction management happens when multiple users use or change a database at the same time. One example of transaction management when it comes to online shopping is when two customers buys the last product at the same time, then the system must handle the transaction correctly to ensure only one customer gets the item. So when we say entity, it is something that you want to keep data about, like people, places, things, events. For example, in a database for a store, so ang pwede natin maging entity doon is the customer. So when we say attribute, it is a detail or characteristic of an entity. So for example, gagamitin pa din natin yung database ng store, which is, ang entity nga natin doon is customer. And kapag sinabi namang attribute, ito naman yung complete details ng person, which is kasama na dito yung customer, kung anong pangalan niya, kung anong first name niya, address, contact number, something like that. Yung attribute is more likely na makikita mo sa mga form or surveys. Lastly, we have the relationship. So when we say relationship, it shows how the entities are connected to each other or to one another. So we have three types of relationship, which is one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Example, we have a database for a store. So we have an entity for a vendor and we have an entity for a customer. So yung vendor is kaya niya mag-serve sa madaming customer, but yung customer is kaya lang can be served by only one vendor. So dito papasok yung three types of relationship, which is the one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Pag sinabi nating one-to-one, one vendor is connected only to one customer. Pag sinabi naman nating one-to-many, one vendor is connected to many customer. Pag sinabi naman nating many-to-many, many vendor is connected to many customer. Then, again, we have three types of relationship, which is one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many.
Demonstrate business rules. They help to standardize the company's view of data. Business rules ensure that everyone in the organization has a consistent understanding of what certain data means and how it should be used. For example, if a company has a rule about how to define a customer, everyone uses the same criteria, leading to uniformity across departments. They can be a communication tool between users and designers. Business rules serve as bridge between the people who use the system, like employees or managers, and those who design it, like software developers or data architects. By clearly defining how the things should work, these rules help both sides communicate effectively and ensures that the system meets the user needs. They allow the designer to understand the nature, role, and scope of the data, helping designers understand the data. For those who design database or system, business rules clarify the nature, role, and scope of the data. This means that designers can be better understand what each piece of data represents, how it should be used, and how important it is to the organization. They allow the designer to understand the business process. Business rules give designers insight into how organization operates. By understanding the rules, designers can grasp the various processes within the company, such as how orders are processed, how inventory is managed, or how customer service is handled. They allow the designers to develop appropriate relationship, participation rules, and constraints, and to create an accurate data model. Business rules guided designers in creating the right relationships and constraints within a database or system. For instance, they help determine how different pieces of data are linked, like linking a customer to their orders and what restrictions should be in place, like ensuring a customers cannot place an order without a valid payment method. This leads to a more accurate and functional data model.
The hierarchical model originated in the 1960s and was used in large projects such as the Apollo mission. It features a tree-like structure with a parent-child relationship, where each parent can have multiple children, but each child has only one parent. For example, in an employee hierarchy, an employee might be an intern, contractor, or full-time. Among full-time employees, those could include writers, senior writers, or editors. The key terms in the hierarchical model include the segment, which is equivalent to a record in the file system. Ang mga advantages naman ng hierarchical model ay yung simple design niya, na nakatutulong para masiguro ang data integrity sa pamamagitan ng parent-child structure, at effective siya sa pag-handle ng malalaking volumes ng data. Pero syempre, may mga disadvantages din. Medyo komplikado ang implementation, may mga issues tulad ng insert, update, at delete na pwedeng mangyari. At mahirap i-maintain kasi kailangan mong baguhin ang buong structure kapag may changes. One of the first and most popular hierarchical model is the Information Management System, na developed by IBM. Ang network model naman, na ginawa para mapabuti ang hierarchical model, ay nagbibigay ng mas maraming flexibility kasi pwede nitong suportahan ang many-to-many relationships. Sa model na to, a record can have more than one parent, kaya mas maganda ito for handling complex data relationships. Pero dahil gumagamit ito ng mga pointer at graph, mas komplikado at mahirap panatilihin. And here's the key concepts of the network model. Schema, the overall structure and organization of the entire database, defining how data is logically arranged. Second, subschema, a subset of the database designed to meet the needs of a specific application or user groups. Third, data management language or DML, the set of tools and commands used to manage and manipulate data, including queries, updates, and deletions. Lastly, the data definition language or the DDL, a set of commands used to define and manage the structure of the database, including the creation of tables, indexes, and schema components. Dumako naman tayo sa advantages and disadvantages ng network model. Una dyan is network model are that it can handle complex relationships, such as many-to-many associations. And it is easy to design and adapt to various types of relationships, whether one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. Additionally, it is based on established standards. However, the network model has also disadvantages. Its complexity is increased due to use of pointers and graphs, and making changes to the database can be difficult, which makes achieving structural independence challenging.
Hey everyone, I'm Alejandra Tiana Pitongala and I will be discussing the relational model and relation diagram. Relation model was introduced in 1970 by Edgar F. Cole ng IBM sa kanyang landmark paper na Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks. So the relational model represented a breakthrough for both users and designers. So to use an analogy, the relational model produced an automatic transmission database para palitan yung standard transmission databases that preceded it. So yung standard transmission, ito yung mga earlier database models natin, yung hierarchical and network models. So yung hierarchical and network models is manual and it required users to specify the exact path to access data. Para kang para kang nag-drive ng car where you need to manually shift gears. And it was complex to understand and use, and it's requiring a high level of technical expertise. While on the other hand, yung relational model is simplified. So it produced a more user-friendly approach, and it abstracted away the complexities of data storage and retrieval, so making it easier for users to interact with the database. Pwede siyang mahintulad natin sa automatic transmission car. Yung relational model handled the underlying mechanisms allowing users to focus on the desired outcome. For example, retrieving information rather than the technical details. So, yung relational model foundation is a mathematical concept known as a relation. So, yung relation is pwede natin siyang matawag na table. And yung table is naglalaman ng row or tinatawag ng tuple, and yung column is matatawag nating attributes. So the relational model is implemented through a very sophisticated relational database management systems or tinatawag RDBMS. So yung RDBMS is isang software na nag-manage ng database. It handles like storing, retrieving, and updating data. It hides complexity, makes the relation model easier to use by handling technical details. So yung function nito is nagpe-perform siya ng similar tasks to other system, yung hierarchical natin and network. But meron siyang maraming features. So yung key advantage niya is simplicity for users. Yung RDBMS is naghahanap siya ng behind the scene work. So users see the data as a table. And dumako naman tayo sa relational diagram. Relational diagram, it is a visual representation, and it shows the entities, which is yung table natin, and yung kanilang attributes, which is yung columns, and how they are connected. How are they related? It helps visualize how data is organized and related.
This topic is all about end-user's perspective SQL-based relational database application. Okay, so how end-users interact with SQL-based relational database application. Let's break it down into three simple parts: the end-user's interface, tables, and the SQL engine. First is the end-user interface. This is what you interact with when you're using a database application. It is designed to be easy to use, so you don't need to know complex SQL code. Example dito is inside the application, halimbawa merong search bar, ang kailangan mo lang gawin ay mag-input for example ng name, and mag-generate na ito ng informations related sa search mo. And next we have the tables. Think of tables like spreadsheets. Each table holds data about one type of thing, such as customers or orders. Rows in the tables are individual records, and columns are the details about those records. Tables are connected by common data. For example, the orders table may have customer ID that links into the customers table. This helps you which order belongs to which customer. And finally, we have the SQL engine. This is the behind the scene worker. When you make a request, like searching for a customer order, the SQL engine runs a query to get the data you need. Halimbawa, ang gusto mong makakuha ng history ng orders from last month, si SQL engine na ang bahala. Siya na ang kukuha ng mga information from the database. So simply, the SQL engine database makes it easy for you to interact with and manage data through user-friendly interfaces.
Let us tackle about the NoSQL, but first let us define what is NoSQL. The NoSQL is short for Not Only SQL. It refers to non-relational databases that store data in a non-tabular format, rather than in a rule-based relational tables like relational databases do. In around 2008, triggered by Facebook's open-source versions of Hive and Cassandra, the NoSQL counter-revolution started. And also, in 2008, big data was the number one factor of a sense of change. Dahil nga noong 2008, nagkaroon ng mga big data, kinakailangan nito ng isang database na kayang mag-handle sa kanya. And isa na dito is yung NoSQL. NoSQL uses schema-free or semi-structured approaches. Basically, itong NoSQL don't require fixed structure or schema para mag-store ng mga data. Instead, yung mga developers, gumagawa sila or binabago nila yung database structure as they go, na hindi kinakailangan ng mga predefined rules. Pinapabilis at pinapadali nito yung mga trabaho nila kaysa sa mga traditional roles ng mga database experts. So, yung mga developers, hinahandle nila yung structure habang binibuild rin nila yung application na ginagawa nila. Mostly, ang NoSQL is ginagamit sa mga social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram dahil nga sa mga malalaking volume ng mga data nila gaya ng mga posts, likes, comments, or images na mabilis dumami, kailangan nila ng mga unstructured or semi-structured data. And mga e-commerce platforms din, tulad ng Amazon, eBay, and Lazada, ginagamit nila to para sa mas mabilisang updates sa mga kanilang inventory at yung mga user preferences at mga transaction data. As we can see dito sa picture, yung NoSQL, meron siyang key-value database, document database, column-oriented database, and graph database. Yung key-value database, nag-i-store siya ng mga pairs of unique key and yung mga value nila. Then, yung document base, ini-store nila yung data in a form of documents, making it more flexible for unstructured or semi-structured data. Sa column-oriented database naman, instead mag-store sila ng mga data in rows like mga traditional databases, dito naman is yung by columns. Useful to para sa mga large-scale data analytics na kailangan mag-read and write ng mga large chunks of data more efficiently. Then dito naman sa graph database, it focuses on relationships between data points. Nire-represent nito yung data as nodes. Then yung mga edges, yung connections ng bawat points, making it ideal for analyzing networks or connections like yung mga social media relationships. Next is the entity relationship model. This is a graphical tool in which entities and their relationship are pictured, first introduced in 1976. ER models are normally represented in a entity relationship diagram, which uses graphical representation to model database components. The next is yung ER model components. ER model components contains two, which are entity and relationship. The entity, it represents anything for which data is stored. It displays as a rectangle or an entity box as an ER diagram. Dito naman tayo sa ER model components. This contains two, which are entity and relationship. First is the entity. Entity represents anything for which data is stored. Ginagamit ito yung rectangle as a representation ng isang entity sa ER diagram. Gumagamit ito ng mga singular nouns like kahit maraming siyang nire-represent, singular lang yung ginagamit niya. Like yung painter, instead of painters, painter lang. Then employees, employee lang. Then kailangan nito naka-capital letters lahat. Naka-place sa center ng rectangle. Then each row sa table, it represents an entity instance or occurrence. Then next is the relationship. It describes associations among data. It has three types of relationships: one to many to many, and one to one. Next is the ER notations. First is the chain notation. It was based on Peter Chan's landmark paper. Yung mga connections nila nakasulat sa tabi ng entity box. Then, yung relationships ng bawat entity ay ginagamitan ng or nire-represent ng diamond. Then, yung relationship nila is nakalagay sa loob ng diamond. Halimbawa dito is yung student. Itong M, sinasabi nito na marami student, meaning many students are enrolled in many course. Kaya siya letter N kasi pwede mong gamitin yung letter N as representation ng many din kapag nagamit mo na yung letter N. So, pwede mo siyang gamitin. Many students enrolled in many course. The next is one, meaning one customer places and many order. The next is employee and meaning many employees works in one department. Itong mga M, N1, N1, ayan yung mga connections nila sa bawat entity. Next is the Crossfoot notation. It was derived from the three-pronged symbol used to represent the many side of the relationship. Makikita natin dito sa symbol ng many para siyang paa ng isang cross. Kaya siya tinawag na crossfoot notation. Then, yung mga connections, nire-represent ng mga symbols. Like yung 1, nire-represent siya ng short line segment. Then yung M, yung many, nire-represent siya ng three-pronged crossfoot. Yung parang paa ng cross. We can see here the summary of crossfoot notation. Yung 1 or 0, na-represent siya ng symbol na bilog at saka yung short line segment. Then yung 1 and only 1, dalawang short line segment. Then yung 0 or many, isang crossfoot o yung many, then yung circle. Then yung 1 or many, crossfoot, then yung single line segment. Here is the example of the two ER notations, the chain notation and crossfoot notation. Makikita natin dito yung difference ng bawat notation. Sa una, one-to-many relationship, a painter can paint many paintings. Each painting is painted by one painter. Dito sa chain notation, rectangle, nakalagay doon yung painter, then one, meaning one painter. Then yung relationship nila or yung connection nila nakalagay sa loob ng diamond, which is yung word na paints. Then, sa isang rectangle ulit, nakalagay yung painting, then may nakalagay sa gilid nito na M, meaning many. One painter paints many painting. Then, dito naman sa crossfoot notation, nakalagay sila dito sa isang box, yung painter. Then, merong symbol dito na single line or one line segment. Then, yung relationship or connection nila, yung paints. Then, yung crossfoot meaning many painting. One to many. One painter paints painting. The next, the many-to-many relationship. An employee can learn many skills. Each skill can be learned by many employees. Dito, sa chain notation, maraming employees. Yung employee nakalagay sa loob ng rectangle, then may M sa gilid, meaning many. Then yung connection nila, learns, then yung skill, may letter N dito, meaning many din. Many employees learn many skill. Then dito naman sa crossfoot notation, nare-represent sila ng magkabilang or dalawang crossfoot notation dahil nga many employees, then many skill. Then yung connection nila nandito lang din sa gitna, nakalagay. Then, thus is one-to-one relationship. An employee manages one store. Dito sa chain notation, nakalagay yung employee sa loob ng rectangle, then merong one, meaning one employee. Then yung connection nila, manages, then yung store, then may one dito, meaning one store. One employee manage one store. Then dito sa crosscut notation, employee, nakalagay sa loob ng box, then nakalagay yung pangalan ng employee. Then, nire-represent ng single line segment, meaning one and only one. Then, yung connection nila, manage. Then, sa store, meron din nakalagay na single line segment, meaning one and only one. One employee manage one store, or store is managed by one employee.
Now, let's talk about the components used in the creation of an ERD. First, we have its entity. Entity represents a person, place, thing, or event na gusto nating i-store ang data about. It's like an object or concept na may significant meaning sa system at gusto nating i-record ang information tungkol dito. Each entity has an attributes that describes its properties and has a unique identifier, often called a primary key, that distinguishes each instance of that entity. Halimbawa, sa entity na desk, gusto nating i-record ang desk ID, color, at size ng bawat desk. Ang desk ID ang unique identifier dahil walang desk na magkapareho ang ID. Next is relationship. Ito naman ay nagpapakita ng connection between two entities. Usually, may verb na name ang relationship at kasama dito ang cardinality at modality. For example, ang relationship na is assigned ay nagpapakita kung paano nakalink ang dalawang entities pero wala pang cardinality at modality na naka-assign. Next, we have here is cardinality and modality. Ano nga ba ang cardinality at modality? Cardinality is the maximum number ng instances ng isang entity na pwedeng i-associate sa kabilang entity. Modality naman ay ang minimum number ng times na kailangan silang i-link. So, kapag cardinality, pwedeng maging one or many at ang symbol ay nilalagay sa dulo ng relationship line sa labas, malapit sa entity. Kapag modality naman ay pwedeng maging 1 o 0 at ang symbol ay nasa loob, katabi ng cardinality symbol. Kapag ang cardinality ay 1, straight line ang iguguhit. Kapag cardinality ay many, 1 foot with 3 toes ang ginagamit. Kapag modality naman, kapag ito ay 1, isang straight line din ang iguguhit, pero kapag modality ay 0, isang bilog or circle ang symbol. Cardinality and modality are both indicated at the end of the relationship line. Kapag nailagay na ang mga symbols, mababasa ang relationship as 1 to 1, 1 to many, or many to many. It is said here that typically, ERDs are much more complex than this, involving a quite number of entities and relationships. Maraming entities at relationships ang involved sa mas malaking system. Kapag pinagsama-sama natin ang iba't ibang relationship at dinagdagan ng mga entities, makakabuo tayo ng mas detalyadong data structure. Dito na pumapasok ang crow's foot notation, na ginagamit para ipakita visually ang relationship at cardinality sa pagitan ng mga entities. Ang symbols tulad ng straight line, circles, at foot-like figures ay tumutulong para mas mapadaling maintindihan ang connections ng bawat entity sa systems. Sa pamamagitan nito, makikita natin kung paano nagsasama-sama ang iba't ibang bahagi ng isang database system.
Next is the different types of entities. First, we have independent entities na kilala rin bilang isang strong entity. And yung independent entities, siya yung entity na hindi dumedepende sa iba. Meaning, they don't rely upon the existence of other entity and they can exist on their own. Like for example, we have a database school system. And yung mga common entities na makikita natin doon is, kasi we have student, instructors, courses, sections, etc. And yung mga entity na yun is may mga primary key, unique identifier. Yung mga identifier na yun is yung magdedetermine sa kanila na sila ay independent. Next is the dependent entities. So, dependent entities, also known as weak entities. Unlike dependent entities are the ones na nagre-rely from other entities to exist. And yung mga key attributes nila is galing lang din sa ibang entity. Say, for example, we have an entity na student and class. Yung student is yung independent since meron siyang unique identifier na student ID. And yung class naman yung depende din sa student para mag-exist siya. Since kung walang student, wala din class. So lastly is the intersection entities. So intersection entities, also known as associative or bridge entities, and are used in database design to resolve many-to-many relationships between two other entities. And yung purpose nila is to create a new entity na magkoconnect dun sa dalawang entities with foreign keys. And this allows for a more normalized database structure by breaking down complex many-to-many relationships into one-to-many relationships. So as you can see in our diagram, there we have entities like students, courses, and sections. Sila yung mga independent entities. And there is an entity named class. And kung mapapansin nyo, na yung mga attributes niya is kinuha niya lang from the other entities, from the independent ones. And that is the intersection entities na nag-arise since the relational databases do not directly support many-to-many relationships. So, from many-to-many, naging dalawang one, which is the class to many relationships na siya. And we use intersection entities to avoid redundancy, maintain data integrity, and ensure that the database follows normalization rules. At nakakatulong din sila for storing additional attributes related to the relationships between the entities.